I'm Chuck Curry. Coming up later on the McCreary Report, a story about a man whose contributions to reggae music has never been told until now.
The name needs no identification, but the name Leroy Hamilton represents a footnote in a musical history which has been long overlooked. Chuck Curry turns a footnote into a story. Leroy Hamilton is one of Chuck's people.
As a studio musician in Jamaica, Leroy Hamilton was used by record producers to spot the best of those hoping to cash in on the emerging new music known as reggae. It was at a record store that Hamilton identified the talent of an intense young man whose profound lyrics and approach to the music were, in Hamilton's opinion, above and beyond the rest. It would be Hamilton's job to groom the raw talent of Bob Marley.
Bob was dynamic. He was different. He was completely different from everyone else. At the time, you have all the artists try to find a good Curtis Mayfield song to sing over, or a good one of them American artists, because these guys was much more in the American thing, and the producers, the local producers at the time, they rather use singing over the American artist songs, because they say the songs are been known. But Bobby came in singing small ox. If you are the big tree, I am the small ox. Sharp, man, well sharp to cut you down. This is something different from all the love song and all the baby I love you and thing. But he was completely different.
He had something to say.
Something to say, and his approach was different.
In 1968, Leroy Hamilton, having discovered Bob Marley, led the band in their first studio sessions in their first cut, known as Small Hearts. Many years later, Bob Marley and the Wailers would become internationally known, while Leroy Hamilton would fade into relative obscurity.
I was supposed to be the main man, rhythm guitarist, the guy with the idea. So, well, then come together and call the whole thing Wailers, because he was doing well on the British chart. He was in demand in England.
And he didn't even realize
He didn't even realize, because, Lee Perry goes up with the tape. So we come out the studio with a session, he gone up, don't pay or anything. So when I come back from England, I'll give you guys something. Oh, well, we was contented there with that, because
you were young.
Yes, we were young then, and we looking forward to this great big time that we're going, the big break gonna come. So we do anything to make the break possible. Well, normally when Lee Perry come back, he might bring a Jaguar, a Thunderbird, and let a gold thing, and he'll come back looking completely different. But we always been remaining the same way, because the little change that he gave to us can't go far. But we love to play. We love to hear ourselves on record, man. We love the life, I mean, and we think one day we're going to get, our reasonable share.
Right. It
So,
didn't happen for you, though, did it? Reasonable share.
No, that reasonable share didn't happen for me. It was all just a wishful thinking,
But why?
Well, maybe because I didn't have the experience of how to approach the business. And like how the business was, it was an opportunity thing, wherein if you don't jump to it, there's a whole lot of line of guys ready to jump to it.
Following the sudden death of Bob Marley, it was Hamilton who helped reorganize the remaining members of the Wailers. An offer to gig in California brought Leroy and the group to the U.S.
I said, all right, we're going to just start jam again, and you're going to see everybody start come to look to see what's going on. And then we're going to start all over again like how Bob started.
This was in Jamaica?
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. So, all right, after we did that like for a couple of weeks, there was this offer to come up here. And the guys said, all right, the money was right, and they're willing to take the chance.
There was a brief tour in the U.S. as the group tried to continue without Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Wailer. But Hamilton's subsequent decision to accept an offer in Switzerland and the Wailers' indecision about continuing resulted in the final demise of a group which had changed the musical world. When Hamilton returned, he chose to stay in the U.S. and relocate to New York City, where he has remained ever since. I see the thrill that you get teaching these young ones out here, and I see how gratified you seem to be with your own business.
Thank you. Yeah, you see, I enjoy passing my knowledge on, because what you use, you have it, not doing anything with it, nobody know you have it, nobody know your value. You don't make sense then. So you pass it on while you get the chance to do it, and somebody will make something of it. if I don't make something of it, somebody going to make something of it one day. You know, it's like, they say, sow your seed, some might fall on the rocks and fall on good ground. Somebody will get something good out of it. Then one day you might see a nice flourishing tree come out of my seed, eh? So I keep doing it, you know, and I hope I get some kind of happiness in the future from doing it. Yeah, man.
LEROY, a man whose unknown footnote in history changed the musical world. I'm Chuck Curry for the McCreary Report.